Hope you hear me fine. I think this will be the first version, first part of this video, because there's a lot to tell. In this video I will cover up the channeled information, which is different than any other information, because it is channeled information. It doesn't matter. I mean, the way of how this information is gathered, it's channeled. It's not like I never read it in books and nowhere, and to me this is a really amazing information. I was just mind blown, and I don't look at food and meals as I did before, right? So how I can start telling this is we started to do a group in Latvia, which is channeling evenings, you would say. And in this group, there are people who have the ability, have learned, or are practicing channeling. And yesterday, the last time, we were 4 people there who channeled something, and 4 more asking questions. And I started, and my friend started, and another friend started to do channel, and then there's a one friend, which I'm amazed, he can just instantly shift in a channeling state. And he's a completed beginner into this, but he has the ability to quickly shift like that, and in a sense doesn't have the taste of coming back or stuff like this. But anyway, so then I started to do channel, and then my friends, and then at the end I started to do, I want to channel also, and I started to do channel, and I didn't know what information will come. So I just felt I want to be in the channeling state. So I sit down, I went in this channeling state, and there was a person in the room who asked about, can you beings please tell us something about chakras? And instantly information like, and this is the story about chakras and food and a healthy diet. And food, keep in mind, balanced food can help you to increase your spiritual growth tremendously, and it's the point of balancing foods to increase your spirituality. And I'll talk about this in the video. So it doesn't mean don't eat this, eat this. We all are different in energy, we all have different chakra workings, abilities in our chakras. We all have different, one is more fire, one is more air, one is more earth. We all have different meals to eat. Our energy works differently, therefore we need to have different meals to eat. So you should not, and you should never accept that the only meals you eat and are given as a vegetarian or a vegan or healthy whatever diet, if they give a list for all, it will not work. You need to avoid this. There are elements that you need to look for. There are elements that you need to take, but there are elements that you don't and you should not take, depending on your current situation, depending on your current energy situation. So keep in mind, this is really important. So this all comes from channeling information, and I will start sharing it just now at this moment. But I want to tell you a little piece of information. This information was not given from a perspective as what chemical, what sauces, what vitamins, what nutritions are in those fruits or vegetables. It was not looked at this way. It was looked in a way what sort of energy in your chakras this food activates, and what sort of energy this fruit deactivates, and thus creating a balance, and thus having a balance. So it's not about vitamins, it's not about the minerals in the food, it's not about that. It's not about acid, or it's not about soft food, it's not about that. It's about what kind of what sort of energy this activates. For example, I will talk about more in the video, but so don't look at this perspective from mainstream information. Look at this perspective that maybe there is something you could use, maybe there is something you can have, and maybe there is something you can point out in your day-to-day life. Maybe there is something you want to try and see whether it works. Don't accept it to be the only truth, and I will tell you why in the ending shortly. So this video will be an hour long, and I will not try to squeeze it more because I need to go, and there's somebody will come and fix something here, so I need to be with here in this room. with other people. So, okay, let's continue. Sorry for the long intro. Safety first. So we started channel. He started to ask about the chakras, and I went into emptiness state, which my mind wasn't so active at that point. But I was like, "Wow, this is so amazing! This is such an interesting information." It was like, for me, this. Okay, I'll continue. And they started talking about chakras, and they said the chakras are basically mills that rotate, and they said that we receive tremendous amount of different energies from our top of the head. And when you meditate, there's like a energetical hole right here, a small hole. When you meditate, do your energy meditations, and I have those videos in my in YouTube and on my website, the channeling lessons and channeling videos and energy meditations and chi lessons and everything. And when you meditate a lot, you can then try to use your hand like this. If your hand is energetically active, you can feel this point right here. There's just an energy flow coming in. You can just a little bit feel it right here, sensation or feeling. And all energy comes here, like feeds us from the top of the head. It goes through, and they call it 3 basic chakras. There are 4 basic chakras of these elements. Overall, there are 6. There are 4 basic and 3 most important, of which one is the most important, is fire. So all energy comes here from here. Chakras, they were talking about chakra only in the heart. In the heart is air, was air, as I told. I never looked at it, I never have thought it about this direction. Solar plexus is fire, and the second center, which is the knob right here, is the, as they call it, digestive mineral fat, where store our fat. It's also related to laziness. It's just a storage where everything is stored, the energy of earth, and like a material is stored. And there was in one center, the fourth, they call it pure earth energy, which comes in from the left feet. I don't know why left feet, I never have read it, but they said left feet, so I said the same left feet. Maybe the information is incorrect, I don't know, but keep in mind, I just shared the knowledge, and you can then look at it and think it yourself. Maybe something is useful, maybe something is something explains something, maybe something is not understood. So just make your own decisions. But just listening to this information, I took my information which is necessary for me, and I will now use it in practice and see whether it helps me. So, and this energy comes from the left feet up, and also through here, and it feeds your body and creates this physical matter. So I cannot, they didn't touch this material matter that much, but they said that's the element where everything is stored, but they didn't talk about it that much. It's also important, but the key elements are these 3 of which they were trying to tell. So the chakras are like mills, and imagine energy comes down through you, then they go in a circular movement, and through vibration they took out through these mills a certain energy vibration that is necessary for inner organs. And I was then thinking how to describe it. Those all are images, those all are sensations. You don't know how to put it in words, but you can easily understand it if you imagine yourself. Right here we have a television, we have a printer, we have a computer, we have a camera. All of them use the same energy, but in different vibration, different electricity, different voltage, different amperage. So your body also, it's like the pure energy is being rotated, milled out, and took out only the necessary energy, which is then through the nerve system, through the ethereal body, is delivered through those organs, so that your organs can work properly, so that your organs, your liver, your stomach, your intents, your kidneys, your heart can work properly. They use certain energy as pulsating, pumping, filtering. So it's all delivered, it's all filtered to your organ system. They said another thing. It's awareness, it's the consciousness, which is connected to energetical body, which is then lower than the energetical body is connected to the physical body. And this connection between energetical and physical body is managed by chakras. And in a sense, your physical body is also an energetical body in a sense. But these chakras filter and change those energies that you can use it for your physical purposes right here. So, continuing. And then they were sharing that whenever we are having outbalanced chakras, outbalanced chakra activity, so in any way, in the solar plexus and in the air, they use the energy of the air, feed your lungs, feed your heart. In the solar plexus, your stomach, your everything right here. It's fire and it's earth to store. So all of these organs have different values of energy that are taken down by the and filtered down by the energy that comes from above. They said it's a cosmical radiance that comes from above, and they are touching also on information with astrology that each planet is also a circulating mill that filters and creates energy, and thus it comes down through you also here, and it's also filtered and used. So it's crazy. It's just crazy. It's like there's a huge knowledge of it. It's a huge knowledge of it. So I'm not ready for all of that. And I said, no, not about astrology. No astrology, not now. No any astrology. I'm already full with this information. So continuing. So and then they said, whenever we are having out of balance chakra activity, it translates to us as emotions. It translates to us as sensations. For example, if you're having a long period of a little bit depression, if you're having a long period of sadness, of laziness, it's a chakra imbalance. One of your chakras, or two, or all three of your chakras are out of balance. You're having these emotional feelings that are stored, your chakra is out of balance, and thus then they said that this energy which is created by the unbalance, so imagine this mill is turning slower and it cannot filter that energy which is needed for your organs quick enough. And they said it also creates unbalance in your digestive system, and it's like a chain process. One of my friends said the energy is like on top of the pyramid. It's right here on top of the pyramid, from which everything then starts, and I totally agree to it. And so yeah, this would be the sadness, the depression, the laziness, the not knowing what to do. It's out of balance of the earth and fire, but mainly earth. The second chakra is out of balance. I see many times human auras when I meditate after channelings. Many hours are gray and fogged. It means there's an outbalance in the second center, which basically they're thinking too much, they're lazy, they're doubting themselves, they're depressed a little bit, they don't know what to do, and it depends on the intention. It depends on the intensity of the out of balance, but it doesn't matter at this point. So whatever you are having, anger, I don't know how to call it in English. In Latvian, call it vesis. It's like you're frustrated. Oh, what did that happen? I feel so guilty. Bastards and so on. Out of balance in your fire center. I'll talk about these two right now. So how it happens and how are they telling this information exactly? I don't know. I recorded in the microphone, but I don't remember anymore. But I do remember these ideas, what they were telling, not the exact word to word as they were sharing. So maybe word to word is really necessary to have, but I will share the ideas. So they were talking. For example, let's talk about fire. Fire is related to Mars. Here in Latvia, we have. I was right now at a cafe. I was looking at the meals, the food they give. Was like, oh my god, it's so wrong. It's so wrong. I was like, it's so wrong. It's everything right here is completely wrong. I was like, I cannot even describe. I never looked at meals at this. So everything what is fire related is how you call it in English? It's stiff food. I don't know how to call it. And there's a huge difference between boiled food. For example, there's a huge difference between boiled potato, baked potato. That's a huge difference. Boiled potato is earth energy for the second center. Baked potato is fire. It activates fire in the solar plexus. Why is this? Because to digest a baked potato, you need more energy, you need more muscles, you need to do it more. And when you eat a baked potato, it activates the fire in you. It activates the fire in you to use activity. When you eat a boiled potato, you don't use that much fire, and there is more and much energy left over for the fire, and there is more and much energy left over for the earth energy center, which is the second chakra, which is all those doubts. If we eat too much, boiled, everything boiled and everything boiled and everything boiled. But for example, I'll talk about this a little bit later. And we eat everything that is soft. They said that Earth center is everything that is soft, for example, boiled. For example, they share the carrot. Soft carrot, fresh carrot are two different things. Soft carrot is for Earth center, creates the fog chi, creates a chi that you can then use for your fire, for fire to grow. We'll talk about what the meanings of these are, fire meanings. But if you eat like fresh, it will have like a little bit balance between earth and fire, earth and fire. So what it will cause you a balance between those two centers. It's if you eat only boiled, you will increase the activity in your second center. If you eat it fresh, it will give a balance between. It will give a balance. If you would eat baked carrot, it will bring up the fire energy in you and lower down this energy. If you have stored so many minerals in your organism, like fat, like eating soft creams and maybe also candy and meat, and there was a meat information meat also, you increase this energy capacity, and therefore this is lowered. You have stored lots of energy here, and then you should and you need to eat fire foods like spices, like spices, like baked food, to increase the fire activity, and the fire will start using this energy right here, and then it turns into air, which is another energy form. And it's so strange to talk about these things. It's so strange. I've wrote in Latvian also a couple of articles about this. So fire is all those. So let's finish. So example, fire is all those foods that are baked, spicy, like lemon, which is acid type of food, and stuff like this. Also, green tea is, you will say, acid, is also relates to fire. Increases your energy. Increases your energy. So to be in a balance with fire center, to have emotional balance, don't have so much anger, don't have this frustration, oh, why did it happen? We need to create a balance between this center. So people who have lots of fire would be thinner people who have outrageous fire. They would be people with less fat mostly. But it's a matter of balance. It's not about who you eat or who you're not. It's a matter of balance, but mostly, I think. So those people who are thin and maybe have lots of fire, but it doesn't mean that all thin people have lots of fire. It doesn't mean like this. I just my own ideas, my own perspectives. They would be more aggressive and they would be more active. They want to do. They want to go. It's a positive thing. It's a positive thing. It's truly a positive thing. To reduce this, you need to have air. You need to create balance, or you need to lower down fire to create a balance. For example, you are in a relationship with your friends or girlfriend. One of you is aggressive and active and sometimes having these difficulties of anger, sometimes having frustration stuff. He needs to lower down his fire or create air. But you cannot create air if you have if you have a lack of this earth energy within you, which is the boiled fat soft food. They call it soft food. The beings called soft food. Fire was hard food, like baked, acid type, and spices, all of those things. So and they were telling a combination. So this person, which is in anger, he needs to lower down his fire, and if he has lots of this capacity of the earth energy in himself, he could turn it into air by eating salad as green leaves and stuff like. But salad, really important. Salad, soft salad, fresh salad, without spices, without lemons, without onions. These are the things that increase fire. Soft salad, soft, tasty salad. It's crazy. It's never before. So to me, it's like mind blowing. Uh, so yeah, uh, in your family, for example, there is this member who has active fire and lots of this earth energy. He eats a lot, and he's active. He wants to jog and run. He has a high potential to becoming a sensitive person, to becoming an air person, to becoming a smiling person, to becoming a joyful person. He needs to reduce the fire and increase air to create balance in the air. So fire is also ketchup, acid, boiled meat, acid, and stuff like this. Boiled potatoes, also boiled fries, and also like this. Earth food is meat. It's boiled potatoes, boiled vegetables, and stuff like this, boiled in steam or steamed also. So the idea was, how does this work? What's the point of it? I will talk about that a little bit later in the balance. Uh, I was talking with my girlfriend, and she's really good in tastes. And I said, "You have a perfect chakra balance." I said, I know for sure." She says, "Why?" And she's a medium. She talks with dead people and receives information. She definitely has an amplified energy. She said, "Why?" I said, "Because you have a strong feeling of taste. Whenever you look at food, you already taste it. It means that your chakras are working. It means that your chakras are perfectly working. You have the taste. Whenever somebody or you who's listening doesn't have the feeling of taste, or maybe you are just ignoring it or not paying attention to it, whenever you're having like, I don't know what to eat, and I'm having this, I don't taste that food that distinctly, and I feel a little bit depressed and sad. It's alert. Pay attention. It's alert mechanism. Pay attention to these things. Alert yourself. Alert. It's a chakra outbalance. It's energy that is just in complete outbalance. If you're having a lack of taste feelings, that you look at food and you don't feel that taste that much, pay attention. You need to have more fire. Pay attention. You need to have more fire. There's something going on in your body. You need to pay attention to this strongly. It's not that it's something very dangerous. It depends on you. Start paying attention to it deeply. Start paying attention to it deeply. And if you're having like sadness and depression and not knowing what to do, pay attention. You're having maybe overburned fire, less fire. They were sharing information. How can you diagnose this? I will talk about a little later in a different video. But you are having strong fire or less fire, but you are having a huge amount of sweet food that you eat, like greens, like boiled soft foods. You're having this way up, way up. You need to have, or you need to reduce. In my case, I'm air and I'm earth, and fire is most difficult at this for me. I can easily create it out balance. So because of this, because I have lots of this earth food and air, which is basically channeling, fire became overburned, completely overburned. I'll talk about this a little bit later. I need to avoid myself. I don't need to do active sports. I need to avoid them for a period when I come back into balance. I have experiences of why did this happen when I'm programming? Again something failed, or sometimes a little bit like anger. Why does this happen again? But I try to don't pay attention to it. Pay attention. But this is a signal that there is an energy balance. You don't need to like avoid this emotion. You need to this emotion is trying to tell me something. I need to pay attention. What's going on? I have overburned myself. I have created a really strong acid environment in my stomach, which is not good and not bad. It's a thing I need to pay attention to. So the beings from this information, what I understood, for me, my recommendation is use air and earth food and lower your fire. Lower your fire by not doing exercises, strong exercises, and lower your fire by eating boiled meat. This is crazy. I never thought myself that I need to eat meat and this is wrong or something. Lower it by eating meat. And not pig and not chicken. There was this huge animal, boiled huge animal meat. It will lower down your fire. Fire will relax, and then come back into balance. and create more air, more happiness, more joy in my life. So when I was talking to my girlfriend and she was like, crazy, I don't understand. Lemon is acid, she said. I said, yes, lemon is acid. From this information, lemon is acid. And she doesn't understand why, because it's when you eat lemon, you become more higher pH. You have more higher pH. I said, it's acid because when you taste it, when you eat it, it activates fire. Your stomach starts activating fire. It's the same as I said with it's not about what chemicals or what thing is in the food. It what energy your body needs to use to digest this food. So, for example, when we eat hard food like baked potatoes, baked meat, we need to have lots of energy to burn this. It's a solar plexus, release those chemicals, the how was it called, the stomach fluids, the acids. We need to increase those chemicals to digest this food, make it soft. But when the food is boiled, it's already digested, and when we eat it, we don't need to use fire. When we are having a chakra out balance, we cannot support those organs with sufficient amount of energy for them to digest this food, and therefore it creates complete out balance. It creates just a huge out balance. So it's a difference. It's completely different. It's not from the. I was searching. Man, this is crazy. 6 basic things. I was searching Google. What can I find about this? And they say that for each chakra there is like, for heart there is green, for solar plexus there is all yellows like bananas and oranges and stuff like this. I was like, no, this is not wrong. This is some kind of a color game. Which fruits are in the chakra color book, which we have found. This is completely different. This is completely different. And the most closest information to I found online was 6 tastes of 6 Ayurvedic 6 tastes. And there was written in the same names, earth, fire, air, energy, foods that amplify one or the other. And it was like, this is the information. I read through a couple of paragraphs, but I didn't, I was just like, man, this is amazing. I will talk more. So, and she said, she doesn't understand. I said, well, just look, you are having these consultations when you talk with dead people, you're doing really much spiritual work, really much spiritual work. It's air. It's only this center right here. To support this energy, you need to have fire, lots of fire, and you need to have a stored energy in your food, in your second center, in your food. You have definitely lots of fire. You have definitely lots of fire. I said to her because she's a Mars type of a person, and I mean like red energy, but it doesn't matter. That's not good or not bad. You're just born with it, and you are clean and pure soul yourself. You have just a different balance of energies, and you need to. Those energies are telling you and talking with you. You need to listen to them. And I said, now look at your consultations. You run to the center. She runs like from here to Riga, like 250 kilometers there and back. You run. You try to be in a hurry. You're using fire. Then you sit down. You don't eat that much. At the morning you drink coffee. Fire again. Acid. You increase that much fire in yourself. And I said, you don't eat all the day because you're talking and talking and talking. You're burning yourself out. You're creating an unbalance. And I said, how many times after these consultations you feel completely tired, you feel frustrated, sometimes pleasurable, sometimes angry? How many times you have these emotions? She said, well, sometimes I feel really good, but sometimes I feel really bad. You're having a complete out of balance in your work. And I told her, at the morning, you need to amplify yourself with soft food like vegetables, boiled vegetables, cream, like sour cream we have here, sour cream, and maybe some spices or something. That's what you need to do. At work, you need to eat boiled meat, because I don't know alternatives. There definitely are alternatives because meat is what lowers energy. And you need to eat boiled meat to lower down your fire, And you need to eat, because the fire will burn out. It will burn out your stomach. And you need to eat salad. You need to eat salad. You need to have these green salad leaves with and really less like pepper or really less drops of lemon. Lower fire, increase the base energy, and increase your air energy. This is crazy, I know, but I think it will definitely help from this information. Definitely help. Now, there were stories of what we as humans do to diagnose ourselves. First of all, pay attention really strongly whether you are having emotional things that you feel sometimes not pleasant. It could be anger, it could be sadness, it could be depression. Pay attention. This is really important. The body is telling you you are out of balance of something. This is really important. Pay strong attention to it. To be in a perfect health, you need to pay strong attention to those. Next steps, what can happen is you don't feel the taste. You look at food, you don't know what to eat. You don't have the sensorial perception of what to eat. Then it's an alert. It's an alert. Something is really wrong. And they tell what you need to do at these moments is you and me and everybody. You need, if you're, it doesn't necessarily mean for other people. You need to first diagnose yourself better, understand you better, because maybe you have over increased fire, or maybe you have completely less fire. Therefore, these steps can be activity could mean different things to you, but the idea, for example, people who are lazy and having fat problems, they're like overweighted and having fat difficulties, they're eating so much earth food, so much soft food, creams, ice creams, soft food, boiled potatoes, meat, and this could be also baked meat and boiled meat, but over too much of all those soft foods, like also I know mustard, yeah, mustard also. So milk also. You eat too much of it. You eat too much of it. This chakra becomes outbalanced. The second chakra becomes outbalanced, and you are having these laziness, difficultness, sadness, and stuff like this. And if you don't have anger, they said what you need to do, you need to increase fire. Now, to increase the fire, you need to do, they said you need to eat nuts, fresh, what was it called? The fresh carrot. Fresh carrot, they're related to as fire and as cleansing and balancing the second center. So nuts, fresh carrot, run. Do an exercise until you sweat, until you feel the heat in your body. Fire started to activate. You feel heat. The fire center starts working. You just activated the fire center by running and these nuts and so. But it doesn't mean that nuts only and carrots only. No, it means like those elements and something similar to those elements. You activated the fire within you. When you activate the fire within you, they said that the chakra starts rotating. It starts rotating faster. What happens then is most important. You, because of the chakra work, the tongue senses you what you need to eat right now at this moment. It senses what kind of a taste it's putting out, because that energy starts working, those organs start working. You need to amplify that energy more. You need to use that energy more. You need to eat that. And tastes are not something like, I will read a comment later. Tastes is not something like God created us to have a more beautiful experience. No, tastes is the principles of the chakra activity, is the principles of your organ activity. It's the communication with you. And they said how you can, okay, I finished this topic. They said that when you do this exercise, it will activate your chakra work. Our chakras, the circles of energy filtration work, and it will put out your taste, because that center, which is responsible for that energy, which amplifies this energy, starts to work. For example, you want something boiled, you want something sweet and tasty. You start feeling something. You need something baked and heavy and like a meat or like something like this. You start feeling it. That's what you need to have at that moment. And they said, slow down and go and have it. Don't eat full your stomach. enjoy the taste when you eat. Enjoy the taste. It will amplify and activate your chakra work. They said also another thing is before you eat your meal, don't squeeze it in quickly. They said you don't, when you, for example, eat something, you can turn on your organism system by having distinct taste over your mouth. And to me, it relates something like, we have starters, and then we have main courses, and then we have something, ice cream or something like this. And to me, it's related different. Take a lemon or something with a unique, or ginger with, or garlic with something with a unique taste. And just taste it and put it down. You don't need to eat it. Just taste it and put it down. These nerve or etheric receptors will activate that chakra, that center, will start pushing energy through it, and those centers will start working, and the digestion of your food, which you are about to eat, will become harmonious, balanced, and etc., etc., etc. So they suggested this thing is also really important. And then there was some information about, and I talked to one of my friends who is in Ayurvedic, and he said, yes, it's exactly what they tell. It's exactly tell. And he said, there are people who are, they call it Pina or whatever, some Vedic name, which I don't remember, for me interpret fire. There are persons who are fire. And he said that, for example, especially girls, they are fire, they are active, they are the girls who are fire. Not all girls, but girls who are. They are fire, they are active, they want to achieve something in life. They are like, they are really, really dynamic. And he said, a friend said, and then at one point they decide that they want to be thinner. They want to be like models, or they want to lose their weight, and they stop eating. And he said, and then they get this ulcers, I guess it's called, stomach problems, ulcers, stomach acid fluids increase and stuff like this. To me, it interpreted from the channeling simply, fire burns in them a lot. It's the energy. They are burning fire which runs. They need to eat. What if you want to reduce fat? If you are like I call it aggressive or red or a fire person, you need to eat just boiled this meat. You just need a boiled meat. That's what you need to do. It will lower down your fire, and that's it. And you will eat less. You would want to eat less. You will eat less because there's no fire burning within you. You will not run. You will not hurry. You will become in balance, and you will lower down this. And you don't need like tons, just a little part. And to create a perfect diet for yourself, you have to understand what kind of a person you are, whether you're fire, whether you're air, whether you're air and ground, or whether you're fire and air or fire and ground. You need to understand this balance for you, and you need to feel your emotions to understand what would be the perfect suggestion. If you're having too much anger, frustration, definitely a balance, out of balance in fire. If a strong anger, too much fire. If like, I feel so bad, everything is wrong, like a lowered anger, it means overburned fire. That's the case when you got some stomach illnesses, when you can have. If you're depressed and not knowing what to do, Earth center is out of balance. Earth center need to be balanced. If you're doubt, not know what to do, you want to do something, Earth center is increased. If you are having weakness, I don't have the strength, anything to do, Earth center and fire is decreased. And there was an information about the air people. They said the air people are also really common to get into difficulties. He said that air people need to have fire and earth. Air people are salads, vegetarians, and those are just people who are air people. They're smiling, they're going, they're walking, they're pleasurable with everybody, they're sweet talking, and they are like, a nice person, really nice person. If they eat so many meat, if they eat boiled potatoes, it lowers down their air energy, and all the centers even more lower down. Those people need to eat spicy food, if their second center is active, but the fire is lowered, the earth is active, but the fire is lowered, you need to have acid food. Acid food. It will create you healthier. It will create you with less weight. It will help you. It will create you thinner. With not so much fat. But in this sense, by eating baked meat, by eating baked potatoes, by eating meat, it lowers down your fire, lowers down your fire, and increases even more your second earth center, which will create doubts, uncertainty, not what to do, and stuff like this. You need to eat fresh salad. You need to eat spicy food, like lemon, like tasty, something with flavored, something that just works on your tastes in your tongue. If you have lowered second center, you need to create it into balance with vegetables. If you're a complete air person, but you don't need to eat much. You have to have it. You just have it. But if you feel sufficient and if you're having like fat and everything, I think you don't need to worry about this that much. It will burn out your fat which you have gathered. So, and today there was another person which is burned out completely. No energy in earth center, no energy in fire, no energy in air. Those people need to build up firstly their earth energy, which is, and they need to avoid acid food to not create fire, because there is nothing to burn in yourself anymore. Everything is burned out, and the fire is using your inner leftovers of your food. So you need to create fire. You don't need to create fire. You need to create the capacity of earth food, which is vegetables, boiled vegetables, nothing spicy, nothing acid, nothing of the air. Air takes all those two components. You need to eat, there was a boiled meat, but not pork, not bacon. Boiled meat, like the large animal, I don't know how to call it. Beef, maybe, no, I don't know. It's like the meat is in shares, but I don't tell you to eat meat. I tell you they are definitely, because what I felt from channeling, it's the most richest with these minerals for the organism to store energy. It's fat, it's soft food, it's green food, it's and they said it fills up your lymph system, your fat system, and so on. You need to build up this for a couple of days. You need to build it up. You need to only eat this. Avoid acid. Avoid creating acid in your stomach. Then you need to have fire in yourself. Fire can be created in two ways. Whether it's running, doing some sports, when you don't feel like sporting, then it's eating some spicy food, like baked food with spices, like acid food, like ketchup and stuff like this. It will create the fire. It will start burning your fire, and it will start using the material that you ate a couple of weeks ago, like the boiled meat, the boiled vegetables, creams. And it will start building up. Then the fire will create you strength, muscles again. It will put you back online together, and then creating a balance of these two centers. Then you can start building up air, which is joyfulness, happiness, smilingness, energy, positive energy. First build up the earth foods, then build up fire, and don't lose the balance. Let the fire be a little bit less, and then slowly start picking up air, and it will create a balance, and then you are in a balance. And now continuing, I have like 15 minutes left. Continuing about, they said as, I don't know, call it in English, in Latvian we call it gavēšana, in English maybe it's they call it, find the words you feel more comfortable about, the words are, the words you find, but I will tell the story and then you will figure out what word it is, because I don't know the name of it. They said that there is another thing how you can create a balance in yourself, and it's called stop eating. I don't know the word of it. And he said it lasts for 7 days. It should last only for 7 days. Reduce the food you eat completely, but don't. But you need to eat a little bit. Don't, I said completely, reduce it completely, but still you need to eat something. Like reduce it highly, but still you need to eat something. So you need to eat something. A little less food, just a little. You don't need to stop eating completely. You need to reduce it until you eat really less per day for those 7 days. And you drink water also. And those 7 days, you call it creating a balance, creating a detoxification in a sense. So what happens? And what do you need to pay attention in those 7 days? You accept that you will do this heavy diet, stop eating, not completely, but stop eating most of the foods, and pay attention in your emotions. Whether aggression starts arising, whether sadness, doubt starts arising, there's days, return back to eating. Return back to eating. Those 7 days, you need to watch carefully this balance. You need to be perfectly in this balance what I was talking about. Emotions, taste sensors, strength in your body are telling you whether you're having and not having the balance or out of balance in yourself. This is really important thing that you need to watch in those 7 days. At those 7 days, they should last comfortably without any emotion, any feeling to you that was pushing too much to you, like maybe deep sadness, deep doubts, deep weakness, deep anger, frustration. If nothing of that happened, everything is fine. You lasted those 7 days. After those 7 days, what you will feel when you look at meals, you start to feel huge taste. You need to have, and you would need to feel a distinct taste. A distinct taste. Then you tell your body, okay, these 7 days have passed, now we need to return to eating. And you will start feeling a distinct taste. What is that which you need the most at this moment? This taste, for example, you start feel that you want to take something salad, something like this, okay? This taste is telling you you can increase your air right now at this moment. You want to feel salad, you want to eat something fresh, air will be increased. Then you feel that you want something boiled, for example. Okay, eat something a little boiled, which is basically building up the earth energy. And then all of a sudden, I want to eat so much baked, or I want to eat something with spices, something like this. Okay, increase your fire. It doesn't matter which of these is first or second, but the idea is that you will start to feel this distinction. You need to pay attention to it, and you need to take action to it. And they said the result of this 7 day period, you would know if it was a successful period. Afterwards, you need to feel distinct and huge tastes, uplifted, joyful feeling, and loss of weight, a little bit lost weight. So then you know that this is a perfect situation for you. And how they tell, it creates and builds back the chakras back in balance, the chakra system back in balance. So all your organs are now working and creating a balance back to the comfortable and supposedly how it should be and how it should work and how it should be back to a normal operating system. So I think I shared the most of the information from the channeling, the most concepts of it from the channeling, and then there is definitely more. And they said also that there is information already available, but we will just want to tell you the principle of it. It's really important, and you definitely find it online. And then I started googling it, and I definitely found it. It's Ayurvedic 6 tastes, some kind of some sort. What, I don't know what is it actually, but there was in detail described which food is fire, which is earth, and which is air. So basically, what you need to understand right now in this moment is what I understood from this moment is tastes what you feel is a mechanism. It's not like a God-given gift to me to have taste. It's a mechanism of which your chakras, your energy that we receive from above, translates, and it requires the same energy what we eat, so it can harmoniously work and sufficient the organism. Because, for example, you are having fire starts filling your organism, filling your material with certain chemicals that you need the most. And you start feeling this taste, this fire taste in your mouth, which is basically something baked, something spicy. The body is telling, I need that at this moment. The chakra is perfectly working, it perfectly understands what it needs, and it puts you in the tongue, the sensors, what you need at this moment. And okay, what is it? Okay, I know. Okay, let's start eating it. So it's also a relationship with you and eating. You look at the food, you talk with the food, you taste it in your mouth, you activated this energy center, so you can take the benefit on the minerals of it. So and you eat it, and it's already prepared, it's already activated, it's already working. The energy has changed, the chakra work has changed to a different energy vibration to harness the newts. So, and the next information was about that, what I understood on later, that pharmaceutics, drugs, is all downhill. It will never help you sufficiently. When you are out of vitamins, you have been in out of balance for a long period of time. You can repair everything of this by creating and building back balance in your food digestive and what foods you choose, etc., etc. So what I understood from this perspective is that uh, I need to pay attention to emotions in relationship. Whenever two persons meet, for example, just imagine a story. One is air and one is fire. For example, in a relationship, they could be opposite. You meet, that energy, fire resonates. But for example, you are air. You don't need to have fire. It resonates, through situations, running somewhere, hurting somewhere, and it builds up fire in you. It builds up fire in you, and thus you need to change your food, what you eat. You need to change your food. You need to lower that fire down to create a balance in you. So you need to eat something boiled, something creamy. But if you are together with a person who is fire and needs only fire and fire type of foods, you will start eating it also. And when you start eating it also, it creates you acid in yourself. It creates you burning in yourself. It creates you also anger and like frustration a little times in yourself, out of balance. If you have an emotion like frustration, like anger, it's out of balance in your chakra work. It's out of balance. You need to pay attention to it. And the suggestion, if one in your family is a fire, one is air, or one is earth, the one you can lower down this fire by eating boiled food, by eating meat. You can lower it down, or by creating air. By creating air, it's these salads and green leaves and something. You can build it up air. That person will become smiling and joyful and active and helping and stuff like this. But if this fire is burning, it creates anger and stuff, and it gives you the fire, and you're having like a stomachal difficulties. The fire is burning, but you're not supposed to be in a fire. You're not that type of a person. So you need to reduce fire yourself also. So it's a matter of combination. And this is the thing about relationship. Two people meet, they're all happy. And then they start converging these energies, changing these energies. Some starts becoming chakra out of balance, emotional out of balance. They start mixing the foods they eat together, and they create, both of them create out of balance themselves, and they're starting to feel unpleasant, unhappy, and stuff like this. It's just a pure essence. It's just a pure beginning of everything. This is crazy. This science crazy. And then they were starting telling, and then comes astrology, planetary energy. When we are born, when we just come out of the mother's stomach, this energy starts pouring in with all the cosmic radiance around Earth, which is at that present moment. And they were showing me diagrams. How can I create and understand these astrology energies that come and said, no, this is not for me at this moment. This is not for me. This for me was mind blowing. This for me was interesting, but I'm not ready yet for the next information. And I will definitely share all that information to you and with you and stuff like this. So I will read the question, and definitely there will be part 2. If you have questions, you can write them down on my website, which is artlineofflinepeace.info, and there is a question section, or in comments, and I'll create another video just answering those questions. So let's check the comments. But wait, tell me one big thing. I want to taste all kinds of food, whether it's vegetable, meat, or then choose to awaken later. Is it a wrong choice? What should I do? Okay, if you want to eat different types of food, taste it. It's perfect. You have a chakra balance. You want to taste it. Everything is working. A taste for you is working. You're in a balance. Everything is correct for you. Everything is wrong. Sorry. Everything is correct for you. Nothing is wrong. That's what I want to tell. Everything is fine. But if you sense that at one point you are having like anger, sadness, weakness, you don't know what to do, you don't feel the taste, the chocolate doesn't seem to be that tasty anymore, so you don't feel the taste from bananas anymore. It's an out of balance. So that's when you need to pay attention. So at the end of the video, what I want to wish to you: enjoy tastes. Enjoy and taste everything to the maximum what you can. Enjoy, activate your centers. Enjoy your tastes. Observe your emotions, observe your sensations, whether you are having emotion that lowers you down, emotion that upsets your mind sometimes, or you start to think about, why am I having this? If you start losing taste, sense of taste, sense of not knowing what to do, sense of not knowing what to eat, sense of like this, pay strong attention, observe yourself, and do a little diagnosis. I will share the diagnosis a little bit later. But what they were sharing about diagnosis is another really difficult thing and interesting thing. Energy of our organs and chakras go through our fingers. From the left arm they go inside, as I understood, and from the right, sorry. And from the left they go outside, as I understood. And each of these fingers have different energy, and they tell the method: put some of your fingers against the wall and just relax. Do you feel a different tone in your ears? You know, sometimes you feel like ee, and test each finger. Okay, this amplifies my sound. The middle finger also amplifies. This finger right here, it doesn't amplify anything. So okay, there's something wrong. I don't know what the finger means. And the small finger also doesn't amplify anything. They were telling me a method. They were showing me a hand that energy goes through these fingers, and you can diagnose it. They use these two fingers, and then only separately these fingers. And they were telling me something about energy that flows through them, that it can be diagnosed. But I said I don't understand yet, and I don't want yet to understand. But I think also that can be found online. I think you can definitely find it. But the thing what I came up in my mind is touching the fingers with the wall, sensing it. How do I hear this energy? Whether it changes. Then you can feel which organ is weaker or more stronger in yourself. There you can understood whether this organ is fire, this organ is earth, or what, whether it's placed. But they were showing also something like whether if you hold your they were showing hold your fingers against the wall and other hand like this, and then ask somebody to lower down your hand, like, and see whether when you're holding your fingers like this, whether you're holding your fingers like that, whether the strength increases in your arm or decreases in your arm, whether the person who is pushing down that arm will have more strength necessary or less strength necessary. So it will tell you, but they'll tell these meanings, and I guess these two were fire, and these other two I forgot. I said I don't want to hear the low, not yet, later. And left arm was with tasters in this right arm. Sorry, it was with tasters. It was related to tasters. So I think definitely, people who write with left hand, they have something with the tasters and something with the food they eat also a little bit different than other people. That's a thing you or me I want to understood, but this is not the channeling information. This is what I thought afterwards. This was with tasters. I saw on one finger yellow energy, on one finger green energy, and I think this is related to tasters. But it doesn't mean that it's only related to tasters. It's related to chakra energy, and chakra energy is related to many things. They also said that second center can be amplified and balanced by going outside, slow walks, fresh air. Fire can be amplified, relaxed, and balanced with yoga movements, and all those centers can be balanced with deep, relaxing meditation. So it's not like they started using. They said there are three things that you can balance your chakras. First is food. Second is air, fresh air. Third is movement. So I talk mostly about food only right now. There are so many other things like planetary states, smells, sound, hearing, touching, and relationships. This is just a one small segment. One small, huge, and important segment. So I think I have some more time right now. If you have any questions, you can write it, but as I know, you will hear me only after a minute. So I will just wait for a minute right now, and you can write on YouTube right now, but on a live stream. But when it will be internet, you can write it down on comments or in the website. I will read it then later. Okay, so I don't see any questions by now. I will wait one more minute. Okay, no questions. So, another 30 seconds. I'm answering questions on my mobile phone right now. Okay, no questions. So, conclusion of this video. Don't pay this word to word seriously. Don't accept this to be the only truth and nothing else. And this is how it's said, and I need to pay attention to it. La, 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 la. Just keep in mind, it was yesterday information. I already starting to take actions myself to it. I have so many more information about this coming that I want to test out at the beginning. But if you're having some kind of difficulties, if you're having something wrong with yourself or healthy or emotional state, try to test and try to see whether this is helpful. And if it is, I was really happy to share this information with you. So, because there are many people that accept that only vegetarian, nothing else. I suppose not to eat anything and nothing else. And they create difficulties in their energy body. And thus then they create blockages in their energy centers. And one girl asked, so if we are having like a blockages in our energy centers, I was like, yeah. For example, too much doubts, too much fears, too much so on, and it blocks the energy center. I was like, yes, yes, yes. So by doing a proper diet, by eating the proper meals, fire, earth, or air for that person, it will create, reduce the blockages. And the information was, yes, but it's not that blockages will be removed by eating something. It's that energy will become in balance. And those emotions that we took seriously, those thoughts that we took seriously, will be and will start to be reduced, and they will be reducing, and slowly cleansing out. So this is energy science, this is channeling science also, and this information was something related to Ayurveda and astrology. And I think if you search online and you find online, you will find more and more information related to it and more information about it. And definitely maybe some more detailed information that I brought to you. But what I wanted to bring to you is that I have no doubts about it, that for a fact that some part or most part of this information is true. How it works, it brings me so many clear confirmations. So good luck to you and wish to you the absolute best. And I'm really sorry that I was so pushing today, but it's because I was like, wow, this is so interesting. This is so interesting. So goodbye. Have a good day. Bye bye.